Good morning, boys and girls. Happy Friday to you. Today, you can see BB Storm sitting here with a red bird, and that's going to tie to a couple of things today. One is for your social studies. You're going to be reading about the state bird, which is the cardinal, and seeing how many other states have the cardinal as their state bird. It's quite amazing how many there actually are. You're going to be reading as well in your social studies weekly about where did peanut butter come from, and then watch it made in Illinois. You're going to find out 3 different things, I believe, that are made in Illinois that you are probably very familiar with. So I'm curious to see what you find out, and be sure to share with me. You will complete on Monday the crossword and Tuesday some questions. So read carefully today. Make sure you get all that information in. Also, this bird is a hint to what I'm going to be talking about at the end of the video today as well. For reading, you're going to be doing iReady reading for 30 minutes. If you have access online, go ahead and complete that. If you do not, then go ahead and read a book of your interest for 30 minutes today. Get some reading minutes in, please. You read on Wednesday about cinquain poems and looked at one and pulled it apart and talked about the different parts of a poem. And so today you're going to be writing your own. You'll have another page in your packet that broke it down for you, and underneath each line tells you what to write. So the first one is the title. What are you going to title your poem? The second line is the subject or noun. What you're going to be talking about in your poem. What's your subject? The second line of the poem is 2 adjectives describing it. The third line is 3 verbs. The fourth line is a sentence that talks about the subject of it. And the final line is a synonym for the subject or a word that kind of sums it up and wraps up and connects to the beginning line, the subject. So that's what you're going to be covering today in language. For math today, we are going to be reviewing over equivalent fractions. So they broke it down for you today and started it off. So you have a fraction that you're given at the beginning, or at least part of that fraction, and then a part of a fraction that's going to equal. Remember that we want to balance both sides. So when you have the equal sign, those fractions need to balance each other. They can have different denominators because it's broken up, that whole piece is broken up into parts. So you want to make sure that the idea is that they're using the same amount of that whole part. Remember when we did this, we needed to find how to find the denominator across from it, the numerator across from it. You need to multiply the numerator and the denominator of the first fraction by the same number. So I'm going to go over that with you today. So this is number 1, and I started with 2/4, and many of you probably are saying, Mrs. Bell, I already know this is 1/2, and so right away you'll know the connection here. But I want to talk about mathematically the connection. So if we have 2/4 here and that equals 8/16, how does that happen? What do you multiply by? So to get from 2 to 8, you're going to multiply by 4. And to go from 4 to 16, you multiply by 4. That confirms for us that the numerator, you multiply or divide the numerator and denominator by the same number. So you're going to multiply the top and the bottom by the same number to get your equivalent fraction. Now you might be missing parts here. So they might give you part of it in here, one here, one here. So you got to make some connections of what they multiply by to get that final result. So that's what we're doing for math today. Anything else? If you have any other questions this week and today, please give me a message by email or by text. You can contact me over the weekend if you need to too, because I know many of you, that's a time for you to have some assistance at home. So that is fine as well. I may not get back to you as quickly as I normally do, but I will respond to you. So if you need to get a hold of me this weekend, that is fine as well. After this video that I'm doing inside the house, I'm going to share something outside my house today that I think you'll enjoy. So enjoy the next part of the clip. So I thought I'd take some time this morning to point out some of the birds that like to hang out in my backyard for you guys. You can hear the birds. They are like this every single morning just about. And it just so happened a blue jay right there just popped on top of the bird feeder. That's pretty exciting. We've had some American finches that have popped up. You'll see them. They're the yellow ones that are flying around. We have wrens. We're hoping to get some orioles this year too. We got some last year. We have a woodpecker that likes to come visit and come back every year. I think we have like 2 or 3 different ones that this year that they're hanging out in our backyard. But there you can see the American finch. There's a robins on the ground there. Those are common. But I thought I'd share with you guys this morning about my birds and my backyard and get a little bit of the sights and sounds that I get to hear.